am back to tell you about the books that I read in September. Most of them are really good. A couple I would really like to forget about. So let's start with those first. Yeah. The first one I'm going to start with is Plain Bad Heroines. And I remember that the author's name is Emily something. I'll put it right here. And I DNF that. It was the buddy read for Noria's Patreon. And I have a phobia of wasps. And yellow jackets were a plot device used in every chapter. So there was that. I wasn't having a good time. A lot of us were feeling the same way. It really didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And then we found out it wasn't going to start, ramping up until for another 200 pages. So we're picking a new one. The next book I'm going to tell you about is a book I really wish I had DNF'd. Yeah. I really like Anne Rice. However, she wrote under a pen name. I'm going to leave the book up here. I wished I just DNF'd the first couple of pages because I was like, I don't know what I'm reading, but this is not what I signed up for. But I just pushed on because it was only 202 pages. I'm not going to continue the series. I don't mind a little dom and sub stuff in my reading, but that's if you've got two as consenting adults. But if someone is just sort of passed off to somebody to be in service to another kingdom and they don't want to go, I'm sorry, that is not a fun time, and not a fun time for me either. So I'm not reading these books. I'm not going there ever again. Yeah. Now on to the books I really enjoyed. I read 2 Audrey Carlin books. They are part of the Lotus House Series. It's a yoga studio that every book had these friends and found family, and it just kept building with more found family and friendships and healing. And in these 2 books, which was Intimate Intuition, which I gave 4.75 blossoms, we had Silas and Dara, and they have one amazing banger of a night. And she wakes up and she sees these photos of, whoa, they have these photos of the wife that he never mentioned on their not date. So rather than stay and kind of like ask some questions, she just leaves. But it's not what Dara thinks. He's dealt with some massive, tragic loss, and he's never dealt with that trauma. So here we go with Dara showing him through yoga the way to healing, which is a lot of these books are based on that. There are a lot of traumatic things that happen in this series, so it's not for the faint of heart. And there's some things that are like really triggering, I think, for a lot of people. So go in with an open mind that there are going to be triggers. There is adult stuff that needs to be dealt with through these characters as they grow. The next book that I read was Enlightened End, and we have Grant and we have Luna. Luna's mom owns the business at Lotus, but she's off enjoying her retirement, and she's gotten an eviction notice, so she's going to go talk to this dude about this eviction notice and see what she can do to maybe put a stop to it. We'll see. She walks in. He likes what he sees. She likes what she sees. Things happen. And yes, there is some trauma stuff that's gone on for this poor guy. And she sees that he needs this just as much as she needs this. She's bound and determined to change his mind about leveling the businesses on the street. I gave it 4 blossoms. Again, I love this series overall, and I do recommend it for anybody that's looking for, some romance. And I kind of listened to the audiobooks for the most part and enjoyed those very much. Very much. Next, I read 2 books by Aiden Thomas. we were going to be reading the Sunbearer Trials and having an author chat with Aiden for the Seasonathon, readathon, the Seasonal Academy. Anyways, that readathon last month, we got to talk to Aiden. And so in order to prep for that, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get a copy of the Sunbearer Trials or not, I decided to read Cemetery Boys first. And we've got Lady Death stuff and some of the goddess stuff there, and I really enjoyed it. And we have brujos, and we have people who are trying to make sure that the ghosts get where they need to be. Most of them are kind of family. They live in a cemetery. But here we go. I decided I'd read that, and I gave it 4.5 blossoms. Then I got a hold of the Sunbearer Trials, and I read that, and I gave that 4 blossoms. I enjoyed it, and again we have goddesses and Mexican lore, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And I'm going to read the second book in that duology as soon as it comes out, because that was really good. It was really fun to read. When I went to North Carolina, I picked up this illustrated version of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I really wanted to add this to my Tolkien collection. So this is adapted by Charles Dickson and illustrated by David Wenzel, and the illustrations are really whimsical and fun, and I think I like everything that's got a Gandalf in it. I really do. And the only problem I had is see how the font is really close, the non-dialogue stuff. I wish the panels were bigger, and I'd have paid more for the extra ink and the extra pages. I really would have. So yeah, this was fun to read, really nostalgic for me, and I really recommend that if you're looking to add to your Tolkien collection. 4.75 blossoms. Only that 7, yeah, we're going to take 25 off just because of the font issue for me. Last year on my 50th birthday, I did purchase some books, and I finally got to one of those books, and that was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and I enjoyed it so much. I gave this 5 blossoms, and it just, Greek retelling, the love between Achilles and Patroclus was just so heartwarming and beautiful, and I enjoyed it. And yes, it is tragic. I knew it was going to break me a little bit. I'm okay with that. But yeah, this was really good. This was fun to read, and so pretty. So the last book that I'm going to talk about is probably one of my faves for the whole month of September. I actually started it a couple months ago, but I finally was able to fully get into it and not have any other books or other readathons kind of distracting me. I enjoy this book so much. It is written by Jim Wilbourne. It is the 7th cadence. It's the start of a series for him. He is an independent author. I really recommend that if people get a chance to read independent authors that are publishing their own stuff, they should really pick up some of those books, because you never know, you might be really surprised. I love the magic system in this, and I love that it's connected to Earth, and it's connected to the elements, and that you need that science in order to work the magic around you. And you've got 2 factions of tribesmen, that one really wants their wizard to return, and one could really care less if that happens. So yeah, I can't wait for the next book to see what happens. There's war on the horizon and things that are happening, and yeah, and there was found family, which I didn't expect to find that, but I did. I found family. Jim did that really well, and I can't wait to read his next book. If you see this, Jim, I need book 2. Like, now, please. Now, those are the books that I read that gave me joy in the month of September. And I have a readathon that I'm in the middle of. This is October 5th. Today, Saga 10 came out. It's released. I ordered that today. So it should be here in a couple weeks. Yeah, so that's going to be nice. And I also have a bunch of other stuff that I've pre-ordered that I'm waiting for. and some other things that I've ordered that I'm waiting for, and I have a problem. I do. I don't have enough bookshelves, and I live in a tiny house. There's that. As I said, those are the books that gave me joy, and I hope whatever it is that you are doing, it is bringing you joy. And staying hydrated, that's something that I am doing. Staying hydrated. So I gotta drink some water as soon as I'm done with this because I've been talking and now my mouth is kind of dry. Until next time, bye.